watching. So today's video is going to be a makeup tutorial on this makeup look, and I have to say that I am so excited to finally be back in front of the camera filming makeup tutorials. I know that it has been a little bit of a gap in the consistency with my uploading. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, you know that I recently moved to Atlanta, and so in the process of moving, anyone who's moved, you know that it is a process. So I've finally gotten settled in, and I've got lots of videos that I want to film for you guys, lots of fall inspired makeup tutorials, and lots of videos for the upcoming holidays. So for today's makeup look, I actually used my Lorac Mega Pro palette. I was so excited to be able to get my hands on one of these because I know that they are in high demand, and so I figured for my first makeup look, or my first makeup tutorial in a while, that I would use the Lorac Mega Pro, since I know a lot of you have probably gotten it or are planning to get it really soon. And this is the makeup look that I came up with. I really love how it came out. I think it's really pretty, and it is a little bit more on the dramatic side, but hey, go big or go home. So I hope that you guys enjoy this makeup tutorial. If you do, please give it a thumbs up, and remember that as usual, I will have all of the products that I use throughout the tutorial listed in the description bar below. So thank you guys so much for watching. Welcome back to my channel, and let's go ahead and get into the tutorial. So the very first thing that I'm going to do is lay down a base for my eyeshadow. I'm using this eyeshadow pencil by Milani in the shade Almond Cream, and it's just a matte cream color. I'm placing that all over my lid and blending it out with my finger. And then I'm jumping right into my Lorac Mega Pro palette, and we're going to start with the crease color. So as you can see, our Fashion Fly was on the shade Sepia, and I'm just picking this up on a big fluffy blending brush. This one is by Sigma, and I'm placing that back and forth into my crease and blending it out. Once we've got that blended out nicely, I'm going to go ahead and move on to my lid colors, and the very first shade that I'm picking up is the shade Cashmere. This is a gorgeous shimmery shade, and I'm just picking this up on a flat shader brush, and you'll see that I actually ended up switching to a more flat, dense brush than the one I was initially using, just because it allowed me to pack on the color a little bit more. And I'm just going to apply this to the inner third of my lid, and then I'm going to pick up the shade Copper, and I'm going to begin to blend that into the edge of Cashmere, and then also begin packing it onto the center of my lid. I'm also pushing these colors right up into my crease, but I'm not extending them past my crease, and that's why I really love using this brush, because it's kind of got a pointed edge and it's tapered as it goes towards the end of the brush, and it really allows you to carve out that crease area. So once I've got that color applied, the next shade I'm going in with is the shade Merlot. And I'm picking this one up on a little tiny eye shader brush. This one is from the Polka Dot set by BH Cosmetics, and I'm going to very precisely place this color on the outer V of my eye and blend it into that copper color that we just applied. And with whatever is left on the brush, you're going to see me slowly start to drag that into my crease, but I'm concentrating the majority of this color on the outer V of my eye, and then just bringing whatever's left over into that crease to further carve it out and define it. And then here I'm just going back in with Copper and blending out the edges of that Merlot shade, and then also the edges of that Cashmere shade, just to make sure that there's a nice gradient smooth transition. Moving right along, I'm going back in with that same E40 blending brush and blending out any harsh lines. There's no additional product on this brush. I'm just using it to further blend out those edges and make sure that the transition is very smooth. Now once I got everything blended out, I did end up deciding that I wanted that outer V to be just a little bit darker, so I'm going in with the shade Granite, which is absolutely gorgeous, and I'm just going to place that on the outer V of my eye right on top of that Merlot shade, but I'm still allowing some of that Merlot shade to peek through, if that makes sense. I'm just really focusing it on that very outer edge and slightly blending it into the crease, and then of course going back in and blending out any harsh lines. So as you can see, our Fashion Fly is back on the shade Cashmere, and I'm going to be using that shade to highlight my brow bone. And then following that, I'm going to apply a thin coat of mascara as well as my absolute favorite lashes of the moment, which are the Ardell Demi Wispies. And then I'm going to start to line my waterline. I'm using the L'Oreal Voluminous Smoldering Eyeliner, and I'm going to smoke that out with the shade Merlot on a pencil brush, and I'm just going to drag that back and forth on my lower lash line and smoke out that liner. And then last but not least, to finish off the eyes, I'm going to highlight my inner corner using the shade Vanilla, and I'm also going to drag this onto the lid just slightly into that cashmere shade just to blend everything together and give that inner corner a nice pop. Going back to the shade Copper, I'm going to drag this along the inner third of my lower lash line. I wasn't going to do this initially, but I just kind of felt like it needed a little something extra down there, so I just went ahead and added that Copper, and I'm just blending that into that Merlot shade that we used to smoke out our lower lash line. And then of course, don't forget to show those lower lashes some love. Moving on to the face, I'm using my absolute favorite bronzer of the moment. It's the NYX Matte Bronzer in the shade Deep Tan. And I'm just going to place this along all of the places that you would naturally bronze your face. So the contours of my cheeks, my temples, down the sides of my nose, as well as right underneath my lip. And this is just going to bring some more shape and dimension back to my face. So yeah, bronze away. Following that, I'm going to move on to my blush, and for this look I decided to use Milani's Baked Blush in the shade Red Vino. I picked this one because I think it really pairs nicely with the lip shade that I'm going to be applying next. So I'm just placing that right above where I placed my bronzer and blending it backward into that bronzer that I applied. For my highlight, I'm using the Milani Face and Body Baked Bronzer in the shade Fantastic in Gold. And this camera does this highlight no justice. It is absolutely gorgeous. So I'm just applying it to the tops of my cheekbones and also right above the arch of my brow, just to give my brow a little bit more lift, and then also applying it down the center of my face. And then it's time for lips. I'm using the Jordana lip liner in the shade Plush Plum, which I think is the perfect shade for fall. And I'm just going to be using this to line my lips. I'm not really going to be filling them in, just making sure that I've got a nice crisp line around the edges. And then once I've got that lined, I'm going to be going in with my Maybelline Creamy Matte Lipstick. And as you can see, the shade that I decided to use is Divine Wine. And I am going to be doing a review on these, so definitely stay tuned for that. But I will say that, as the name suggests, they are very, very creamy and surprisingly moisturizing on the lips. So after I've got that applied, I'm just going to set everything in place, and girl, you are good to go. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this makeup tutorial. It is definitely one of my favorites that I have filmed so far, and I was very impressed with the Lorac Mega Pro palette. I knew that I would love it, but actually having a chance to sit down and play with it, the shades are absolutely gorgeous and so buttery and so easy to blend and just absolutely amazing. So if you have the opportunity to purchase it, definitely get it. I know it's a little bit on the pricey side, but it is so worth it. And if you would like to see a review on the Lorac Mega Pro, give this video a thumbs up and I will definitely get that filmed for you guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.